Hi friends, a very pleasant good afternoon and I hope you're able to see me. Am I audible to you guys? Is the screen visible? Okay, so I can see the screen myself, but I just want a quick confirmation. I hope all of you are doing good. A very pleasant good afternoon to everybody out there. So a quick heads up regarding if you can hear me and if the screen to you is visible. That would really help me to go ahead. If I get a quick yes in the chat box, am I audible to you guys? Okay, thank you so much. I think Kanchan has given me a heads up. Thank you, Kanchan. Thank you, Ankit. Okay, thank you, Parth. Thank you. Aditya Komaragiri. Yes, Ranjit. Hi. Okay. So we are here today because the SEBI Grade A 2020 exam is finally over, the phase 1. So we all have been waiting for a long time and a lot of preparation has gone into today's examination. So we'll just quickly have a look at how was the paper overall today. And by tomorrow you'll also be getting the question and the answer from our side so that you can have a quick check as well. But before that, it is very important for us to understand how was the paper overall. Okay, what was the difficulty level of the paper and what kind of questions were asked. Now, why is this important for us? Why are we discussing it today? Because this is phase 1, right? This is qualifying in nature. After that, you are also going to attempt phase 2 examination, and the paper 2 is exactly the same as the phase 1 paper 2 that you have written today. So it is very important that you understand the kind of questions, what are the important takeaways for your phase 2 preparation. That is also something that we'll be looking at. Okay, so before I proceed, in the first 1 or 2 minutes, I would really appreciate if you can just let me know how was your exam overall, how did you perform, what did you think of the paper, right? Any 1-2 words, quick words that you would want to share about your experience today. So just put that in the chat section so that I can just understand an overall feeling or the general feeling that you guys have. I can see GA in paper 1 was little difficult. Okay, it can again be subjective based on your preparation levels as well. So if you can quickly give me in the chat section your understanding of the paper, how did you guys perform? Okay, paper 2 was kind of confusing and tough according to Juhi. Okay, fine. GA and reasoning are considered moderate by few. Okay, numericals, I think there were very few. I'll mention about that as well. And they were more like equation based questions. I would not call them numericals, as in they do not fall under the category of numericals completely. Fine. So in a minute, I'll just quickly start this session. Before that, I would appreciate you letting me know how was your paper overall. Okay. Okay, according to one of our users, Avishek, paper was moderate to tough, and compared to last year, paper was difficult. We will go into the reason as to why do we say so. There's a very big difference from the way the paper was structured last year. So this is one very important point that Hitesh has also brought out. So it's really important. Okay, fine. So all of you, I think we just have one shift. That's one thing which is different from RBI Grade B examination. I'll just wait for 1 minute. At 12:50, we'll quickly begin. I just want to make sure that all of you are there and attentive right now. Okay. And please be interactive because here we are discussing about how the paper was. Okay. So Keshav Agarwal says some of the syllabus questions were so there. Okay, so can you just rephrase that, Keshav, for me? Okay, few of you are giving me a very good split up about the marks that you're expecting. Okay, fine. Let me just begin now and your friends can join in later. Fine. Now, I will not be looking continuously at the chat section in between, but yes, I will take a break in between and then, quickly have a look at the chat section. Now, before I begin this analysis session, friends, it's very important for us to understand the objective behind doing this. Obviously, we will be coming out with the Q&A wherein you can check your answers, but the main reason is to get you to understand the overall feel of the paper, okay? And the second thing is, the most important aspect, what are you going to take away from this particular analysis today? Fine. And one other thing is, let me just take you to the pattern here of phase 1. You just need minimum marks to qualify for phase 2. So if you are getting minimum 30% in paper 1 and 40% in paper 2, overall 40%, then you will be entering your phase 2. Okay, so all of you out there, if you are, you can judge yourself. If you're falling under this criteria, then start your preparations for phase 2. We'll also be guiding you how to do so. But before that, it's very important for us to understand the type of questions that were asked. Okay. So now the distribution that we have seen, now this was not given as part of our notification, but we did see this distribution in the information handout that was released just before the examination along with the admit cards. So pretty much no bouncers, it was kept as it is, right? We did have 80 questions coming in for paper 1. Now let me tell you that paper 1 was easy, okay? Easy to moderate, I would say. If few of you are totally out of practice, it can be a tough situation to be put in. But if you have a decent level of preparation, paper 1 was something which was actually easy when you compare it with paper 2. Okay. So let me just see the type of questions. We have 4 sections, okay, and quantitative aptitude, the highlight again, the easy part also I would say is 2 DI based questions that were there. So there were passage based questions and the tabular DI, which was based on ratio. So pretty easy if you are, good in selecting the type of questions that were asked. There were missing number series that were there, quadratic equations were there, okay, and obviously there were few questions from arithmetic which we have put under miscellaneous. So nothing very new. If you are a banking aspirant, if you have given multiple other examinations, it would be very familiar to you. Okay, and again, since this is qualifying in nature, your selection of questions would have really helped you whether you are going to make it or not. Your accuracy level, your selection of questions will do the job for you today. Okay, then if you talk about reasoning, yes, puzzles were there. We were having 4 puzzles altogether, very different type of puzzles, but it was not like, all the 4 puzzles were on a very different tangent. It was not like very tough. You just start solving them in the first use case, you might get the answer. So I would say it is not like if you don't know to solve puzzles, you would not have been at a disadvantage today. No, that is not the case. Okay. And miscellaneous, there were very easy questions regarding formation of meaningful word, alphabet sequence. There were inference based questions which I would put under critical reasoning. Okay, there were coding and decoding, one question, very simple. So out and out, even reasoning was pretty much easy job, provided your selection of questions were good. Okay, why am I stressing on selection of questions? Because this is qualifying in nature. You just need 30% minimum from your paper 1. Okay, and you had 80 questions, so you can automatically calculate if you're in or out. Fine. The next thing is English. Fine. English again very predictable, nothing out of the box, nothing was asked which you did not expect out of a English section out there. Again, if you have been very aggressive in giving examinations, the other competitive examinations, then I think it would have been easier for you, and nothing new, I would say. Fine. So yes, passage based questions 6 to 7, jumble sentences were there, word rearrangement, error detection, again very predictable paper. Okay. General awareness, one thing as I always kept mentioning, even if you have a look at your preparation strategy sessions, one important point, friends, is that you should never miss upon the current affairs of Feb as well. Okay, and that we kept repeating, the importance would start from the latest months when you talk about coverage of current affairs. So that was very evident. We did have questions from Feb as well, and we did have questions from Jan, December, one or two questions from October. So the latest months were given a lot of weightage in terms of current affairs. We did get questions from, economic survey, union budget. So it was kind of very good mix. We just have 20 questions to go, right? So you have from SEBI notification, there were some factual questions. So that was also covered in the current affairs that we had given. So all in all, if you have followed very religiously the current affairs section that we have covered, most of your questions would have been answered easily. Okay, so this particular the mix of questions were there. So you saw pretty much questions being covered from all the areas. Okay, I'm sorry if there's some background noise going on. It's a Sunday, so I'm really apologies for the same. Fine. So I would say, in case if you have missed out on covering the last few months, it would have been very difficult for you to, concentrate on the coverage of current affairs. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so I would just want to ask you that how many of you have done the current affairs section decently, because pretty much the material was provided to you and I hope you have covered this in a comprehensive manner, right? So if you can just give me a very, a heads up in the chat section, it would really, help us understand that. GA was tough if you have missed out on the last coverage of the last few months. That would have been a tough scenario for many of you. So in case you have covered the capsules that we have given and plus the union budget economic survey summaries, I think that would have done the job for you very easily. Okay, and there were few very simple banking related questions on important days, pretty much like the G of any other banking paper, I would say, right? So nothing off guard. We were not surprised at all with the paper 1 overall, if you ask me. Fine. So now before I move on to paper 2, I would just like to say that a decent amount of practice, a decent amount of understanding of the various topics that are there as part of paper 1 would have sailed you through, or should sail you through today with respect to your paper 1. 30% is not a big deal to crack in today's paper, right? Now let's move on to paper 2 basically. Now let me tell you one very good comparison, like the paper was keeping in mind the syllabus. Okay, I would not call it tough, I would call it moderate, but if you compare it with the previous year, then few of you might have felt the paper being tough. The reason is, last year what they did is they did not stick to the syllabus completely. Okay, their questions were very general. In case few of you did not prepare, also fared very good last year's paper. But this year what they have done is they've actually treated the syllabus as a Bible and they've asked the questions from the syllabus only. All the 6 sections have been given importance. Okay, they haven't been like, okay, all the questions are from one particular section. No, the mix was very good. Okay, they did ask questions from all the 6 sections that were mentioned in your syllabus. So any student, okay, who actually took the syllabus seriously, who attempted all the topic wise tests that were given, they were at a very good advantage today while solving the paper 2 of SEBI Grade A. Okay, so again the conclusion here is, if you compare it with last year, yes, the paper was tough, but the reason why paper was tough is because they stuck to the syllabus. So in case your preparation was to the point, then you would have really found it easy. Okay, now let me tell you about each section, because why are we talking about it when it is over? Because this paper, the paper 2 that we are looking at, is going to be the same in phase 2 as well. So that is a very, very big advantage for us. You have already prepared 50% for your phase 2, and as I told you, only minimum percentage is required for you to qualify this paper. So if you have got 40% in paper 2, then you are through. Okay, and aggregate 40% as well. So from now on, you should start your preparation keeping in mind some of the points that we are going to be discussing here. So please pay attention, and based on that, we'll be structuring our preparation and the strategy sessions that we're going to have in the coming days. Okay, first thing is management. See, I would say management was not a tough section, or the questions were not tough from management, but the language also was not very direct. Okay, I would say tricky language questions, but the concept were very simple. So anybody who has a very good and clear understanding of the concepts would have actually solved all the questions very correctly. The other thing that was observed in the management section is they actually covered questions, or they have picked questions from all the chapters. Okay, they did not give more weightage to a particular chapter. Motivation, yes, there were a couple of questions from that, but overall they have gone ahead and touched all the chapters present in the management section. Okay, and one very good advantage is we have from the start maintain this stand. If you have been with us from the starting days when we have guided you regarding how to prepare for SEBI Grade A, we have always asked you to start your preparation with the management section. So if you have gone through the management section very thoroughly, understanding all the concepts with clarity, 8 questions would have been correct for you today. So this is one section that was giving us an understanding that practice helps us a lot to answer questions. The second section is finance. Again, very decent. They did not go into the details of it. I would say anybody who did a very decent reading of the notes and understanding of the concept, solving the topic wise test, would have actually cracked this section again fine. So they were direct questions. They were questions from derivatives, mutual funds, current affairs based question on gold exchange was there. So nothing out of the box, like nothing as a bouncer. Fine. Anybody who has kept the syllabus in front of you, studied each chapter properly, they would not find it very uneasy to solve these questions, I would say. Fine. The next thing is commerce and accountancy. If you look at commerce and accountancy syllabus, there is a basic to commerce and accountancy which is included, which includes topics like balance sheet or cash flow, funds flow, right? Majority of questions were from that area. Fine. We did not have any numericals. There were a lot of speculations and uneasiness because of numericals being present. So that point was taken off the court. We did not have any numericals being asked. One question was there from accounting standards. Apart from that, mostly it was from balance sheet and bonus and rights share. So again, if you have done commerce and accountancy, keeping the basics in mind, definitely this section would have been a little easier for you. But again, I would say compared to last year, yes, they did go deep into the concepts. Yes, they stuck to the syllabus. Yes, they have asked questions on all the important concepts that are there as part of the 6 sections in paper 2. So all these things would have really, helped you ace the examination today. Next, coming to the costing section, guys, very well distributed. Again, I would say they have not left the topics within sections as well. So direct questions, definition based, nothing for you to ponder upon much, but your basic understanding would have been the key for you. From lean system, which is the second half of the costing syllabus, there were 3 questions, and there were questions on material costing, budget and budgetary control. So if you go and have a look at the quick notes, if you have done those properly, we have detailed documents on the types of cost. So one of that was material costing. So from that you had a very direct question that was given in the paper. So overall costing section also was moderate, nothing which you can say that this can be a roadblock for us. Okay. Next, coming to Companies Act. Fine. Now, Companies Act, this time again, as Companies Act has always been the case, direct questions, more or less like fill in the blanks. Fine. If you have memorized a few of the things, it would have really been easy for you. Again, under Companies Act, you have various chapters, right? So they covered all the chapters. It was not like only one chapter was taken and all the questions, 6-7 questions were from there. No, they had distributed it over various concepts, but factual in nature. Okay, you just had to revise your Companies Act notes and topic wise tests to ace this examination, this section specifically. And there was one question that was on penalty, which was statement based. Rest of the questions were more or like fill in the blanks. So again, very simple, I would say, provided you were able to remember those things, because with Companies Act, one drawback is lot to remember. Okay, so that can be a little uneasy for few of the users who are not good at keeping factual information in mind. So that is one bit about Companies Act. Coming to economics, I would say again a very good drafted paper in terms of economic section. Both micro and macro related questions were asked, but more questions were from the micro section, microeconomics. So the questions were little lengthy. Okay, they were statement based questions, and in the question also you had to read the question properly, because it was more like find the correct statement or the incorrect statement. So there, if you're not reading the question properly, in spite of you knowing the concept, there's a higher chance that it can lead to you marking incorrect answer in the paper. So I hope all of you have read the questions properly, the statement based questions. The areas that were covered, basically BOP, balance of payment, market structure, demand and supply. There was a numerical, I would not say exact numerical, but yes, a formula kind of based question was there. You had a question on ISLM curve, elasticity of demand. So again, if you have concentrated on the first half of the syllabus, it would have been really beneficial, where the micro concepts microeconomics is covered. Plus, if you have followed the revision classes that we had taken, because we have covered all these concepts in a very concrete manner in those sessions as well, so it would have been easier for you. So yes, this is about the economic section. There were few miscellaneous based questions, I would say more like on SEBI guidelines. So I'm not relating those questions under any of these sections here. So I would keep it under miscellaneous. So there were 3-4 questions out there, right? So as you can see here, how was the phase 1 overall? If you ask me, I would say paper 1 was easy to moderate. Why I have put here easy and moderate, like not exactly easy or moderate, because few of you might not be comfortable, say in solving some of the questions in reasoning. Okay, so I would put that as a moderate paper. Some of you are very good, have a lot of practice of giving banking exams also, then maybe it is going to be like a cakewalk for you, right? So keeping everybody in mind, I would say it's easy to moderate, but your accuracy would take you places today, because you know what is required out of you. You know that you need 30% minimum in paper 1, 40% in paper 2, aggregate 40%. So that's what is important right now. Fine. Paper 2, yes, I would say moderate, because again, they did do a very good job in terms of keeping the paper very holistic. Like they have included all the sections, they have included all the topics within the sections. So it required preparation. This paper did require preparation. Fine. And I would say not a long preparation, even 2 months of very decent preparation, wherein you are going through all the notes that are provided, or the topic test, or the current affairs. Anybody taking 3 to 3.5 hours per day with full concentration would have really found the paper easy, because you know the topics are familiar, you have seen that they have picked it up from the syllabus. There are always exceptions, like 2 to 3 questions coming out of the syllabus. That is the case with any examination, right? And again, as I've mentioned, the second point here, it was not general in nature. They did stick to the syllabus, unlike last year. Last year it was more like a general understanding, or not, even if you have not prepared, you would have cleared last year. But this year, some decent amount of preparation was definitely required for you to sail through, right? And paper 1, I would say a banking 11 paper, very decent. If you had practiced even say 3 to 4 mocks properly with analysis, okay, not just practicing, but going back and understanding where you have gone wrong, or what are the areas you need to improve upon, then obviously this paper would have been way easier for you. Okay, so now what do we infer from here? If the basics are good, if you know the concepts properly, you would have solved the paper today with ease. Fine. So that's what is the inference today, and important takeaways for phase 2. Let me just quickly tell you what is going to be the agenda now. See, I'll just spend 2 to 3 minutes making you understand important takeaways, and on Tuesday we'll be having a complete session which will detail out everything as to now in the next 28 or 27 days that are left with us. How do we structure our preparation for phase 2? Okay, this analysis session is going to help you to understand the requirements of preparation for this particular exam. So one thing is, please read the syllabus very carefully. Okay, you have to cover all the topics, and you cannot expect any topic to be left out. I would say don't do that. Go through it, but have a sequence. That can be done, because we have seen what are the areas they have given priority to. Sections like management, you cannot give priority because they have pretty much covered all the sections, okay, all the chapters. Companies Act, yes, there are few chapters which have been given priority, okay, though we have one question taken from, say, each chapter, but yes, the latest chapters like 10 and 27, these chapters took a major share of questions there. So yes, we can actually go through that. The next thing is, remember, phase 1 was only qualifying in nature. It did not matter if you're scoring very good also, as long as you are able to sail through the minimum cutoff that is required. Okay, so that is one thing. Phase 2 is going to be different. Your approach towards phase 2 should be different. Okay, the day you're going for phase 2 examination, the mindset should be very different. You need to score well, because the score is going to be taken into account to come up with the final list along with the interview scores, and 85% of your marking is going to be taken for from phase 2 marks. Okay, so your mindset matters a lot here. The third thing is, be very thorough with your basics. Please, I cannot repeat this enough, or I would be rather be stressing on this again and again, even in the strategy session that we are going to be taking up in the coming week, that without basics, it's going to be really tough for you to figure out what is happening in the paper itself. When I say basics, it does include the factual based questions also, because if you talk about Companies Act as a section, it is more like, knowing the facts. Okay, there's nothing that you can infer from it. You just have to keep knowing the facts there. Okay, that takes a lot of revision. That is why revision is definitely going to be the key. You will have to revise it at least 2 times before you're going to the paper examination, right? So this is the crux of what we have to keep in mind when we talk about our preparations for phase 2. Fine. So yeah, that's all about how today's paper has been. I'm not going to say good attempts or something, because we already know the minimum criteria out here. It is very well laid out. So that is the minimum criteria for us. And I just hope you have, had a very keen understanding about the accuracy of the paper, accuracy of the answers that you have marked, because sometimes you might have done very well, but because you have randomly marked other questions that you were not sure of, it would lead to, your score coming down, because there is negative marking in today's paper. Fine. So yes, this is pretty much about it. After the analysis, we will be releasing one key also tomorrow. Don't worry about it, question and answer. Okay, you can quickly have a look at that as well. But by now, by tomorrow evening or so, please make a very general understanding of where you stand in clearing this paper. And if you're sure, even if you're 80% or 70% sure that you're going to clear, please don't wait for the results. Start your phase 2 preparation ASAP. Don't wait 7 to 8 days which you have in hands before the results are out. That's really going to be crucial, because in case you make it, you cannot get these 7 to 8 days back, right? So I would genuinely recommend you guys to, go ahead with your phase 2 preparations. Fine. So anything else, I am there in the chat section. Now I'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes and see if there's something that you guys need to tell me, or in general share your experiences about. And we'll also be starting a live batch on Thursday. Okay, 24th is Thursday, I believe. Yes. So we will start with a quick fast track revision of all these 6 sections, plus your descriptive English also will be taken care of. So don't worry about that. Plus your fodder material, essay writing topics, everything would be available for you, and it's already up as well. So don't worry. We will start our full-fledged preparation in the coming week. Firstly, the strategy session would kickstart on Tuesday. Then on Thursday onwards, we have a live batch. Plus, the other things are already in store. The topic-wise tests are live. The notes are already live. So don't worry about it. You can start your preparations. Yeah, few of you have found economics tough. I would recommend you to please be very, very thorough with the microeconomics part. You need to understand the concepts, okay? And for that, if you want, just refer to the videos or the live session so that your understanding of the concepts become clear, okay? Fine. So I think I will take a leave right now, and thank you so much. please do take today's day off, take some rest. You have done a great job. You might not have performed that well, or you might have performed very well, but still everybody just pat your back, because taking or trying is the most important thing in life. It's not always the result that matters. Okay, so just take a little time off for yourself and get back on track by Tuesday. Not more than two days of rest is needed, but yeah, definitely a little break is needed, right? Thank you so much. Please do take good care of yourself and your health. Make sure you guys get vaccinated. Please wear your masks. Don't leave the practice of wearing masks. That's very important. Okay, sanitize your hands. Stay together. Stay with your family. Make sure everything is going well for you. Thank you so much. And the results, it would take 6 to 7 days for us to get the result. Okay, because phase 2 exam, guys, again, if you don't know the date yet, it's 20th March. So we just have one more month to go, and after 6 to 7 days we might expect the result being out. So don't wait for the results. Judge for yourself. Even if you're 70-60% sure, just go for it. Start your preparations, right? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.